Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a while since I've been doing these lives, and I'm going to be back here talking a lot about my new book, A Radical Awakening. It comes out in a month. You can go to radicalawakening.com and buy the book or buy my course. I'm doing a 10-day deep dive into the themes of this book. So I'd love you to go to radicalawakening.com and get your access to my course or the book. So I want to talk about what it means to radically awaken. So in the chat, tell me what it means for you to radically awaken. What does a radical awakening mean for you? Thanks, Pearl. Pearl just pre-ordered the book. We're talking about my book, A Radical Awakening. You can go to radicalawakening.com. I'm doing a 10-day deep dive course. Get the course. You get 3 copies sent to you. So go to radicalawakening.com. But tell me what it means for you. Clarity, to be aware. Hi, everyone. I see you coming in. No more anxiety. To live each day in the moment. To not be in your thoughts, to be conscious, a slap in the face that everything you believed is garbage. Let me get the comments off. I don't know why I don't see the comments on my Facebook. Anyway, to be more conscious, waking up to your inner power, being in the present moment. I love that. We're talking about what it means for you to radically awaken. Breaking out of social expectations. I love that. Knowing the truth, being conscious, being aware, being focused, being present. To be no longer under the illusion of our egoic self. I love that, Amy Cassidy. To own our power and connect with ourselves. I love that. To see the light, Terrence. I like that. Empowerment. Beautiful. Hi, Maya, Sonali, Roy. I see you all signing in. Breaking out of patterns. Yes. So, what radical awakening means for you is to break out, to break free, to find your authentic self. Give love that's truly loving, seeing our oneness, to awaken, to not to be a sleepwalker, being authentic, being conscious. So when I wrote this book, A Radical Awakening, obviously, I did talk about my own journey and my process to radically awaken. So I love that, Poonam, to break the patterns, to take action. I love that. So whenever we go through a journey, one of the most powerful things we can do is share that, because it helps empower other people to go through the journey with courage, with a sense of kinship, and you're not alone. So that's what I did when I wrote this book. I shared my journey so that others could also benefit from it. So this book, A Radical Awakening, has a lot of my journey in my own radical awakening in this book. So go to radicalawakening.com, guys. Buy the book, buy the course. If you get the course, you get 3 books for free. So get the course. I'm going to do it next month. It's going to be a 10-day deep dive. So in my own journey in radical awakening, I found that the thing that was blocking me the most was my fear of other people's expectations. And I think for women and men, but more so for women, yes, we hide behind the mask. We are trained to hide behind the mask of fear of other people's expectations. And we live afraid of that power we have given away. We have given away so much power to other people in our lives that is what stops us from radically awakening. So, correct, Marina says to understand what we truly want beyond social expectations. So the expectations of others is what keeps us bound in fear. And that fear stops us from radically awakening. So for me, to awaken is level 1, and then to radically awaken is level 2. So what does it mean to awaken? So to awaken is to realize, like some of you have already said, that everything you've been told, or most of what you've been told, is an illusion. It's not what it seems. So that is the first rude awakening, that what we've been told is not what it seems. It's an illusion. So that takes some time to assimilate, to understand, to integrate. And then to radically awaken is to own our co-creation in our own enslavement. How have we been participating in our own enslavement? So the first part is to understand that we have been enslaved in fear. Fear of other people, other people's expectations, other people's domination, other people's subjugation. And then to radically awaken is to understand how we have co-created our own enslavement. So that's really hard for us to do, because it means that we have to look in the mirror. And no one really likes to look in the mirror, because to look in the mirror means to look behind the illusions, to look beyond the surface, to really dig deep into how it is we have been oppressing ourselves, how it is that we've been encaged and emasculating ourselves in fear. That is the real awakening, when we take ownership into our own power, into our own liberation. There is no one coming to rescue us. So each time, maybe this is happening to you in your life right now. Maybe this is occurring right now for you, where you're feeling really panicked, where somebody has power over you, where you are afraid of making a change. If that is the case, then it's time to look at this as a wake-up call. Just like I said in all my viral wisdoms of 2020. And by the way, all those viral wisdoms are still available on my YouTube channel. I did 52 free sessions for you to empower yourself and to not fall into anxiety. So, the minute we give our power away, we encage ourselves. And the truest power is when we reclaim all the energy, all the seeking, all the desperation we give to others in our lives. So anytime in your life that you feel afraid of making a change, it's time to stop and ask, what am I really afraid of? And it's most likely going to be some sort of failure. Failure in the real world, or failure of a relationship. And we're so scared of failure that we paralyze ourselves. You know, you've been through this paralysis many times. I know I have. And yet, it is when we work through the paralysis and come through the tunnel on the other side that we evolve. So this book, we're talking about my book, A Radical Awakening. Go to aradicalawakening.com if you want to be in my 10-day deep dive course. It's an intensive course on the book, and you get 3 books sent to you. So go to the course at aradicalawakening.com and register, and you get 3 books sent to you. So this book really talks about why we have been holding ourselves back, why we have been living in this shroud of fear, and how to reclaim that power back. All of us, at some point in our lives have been taught from a young age to give up our power, to sidestep our sovereignty, to abscond our true independence. Our parents did that with us by subjugating us in an unconscious hierarchical relationship. And from a young age, we learned to look for ourselves on the outside. We look for it in church or in the synagogue, in the mosque. We look for it in the school, in the teacher's approval, in the grade report. We look for it in the boyfriend or the girlfriend. We look for it in the size 0 clothes on the weighing machine. We're looking and looking and looking and looking for a sense of self. And we don't realize we're looking. You know, every time you eat unhealthily, you're not eating because you're hungry. You're eating because you're looking for worth. Every time you're in a relationship where you don't feel good, you're not in the relationship because you love the other person. You're not. You're in the relationship because you're looking for worth. And you think that the other person has the power to give it to you. And so for us women, we are babysitting our lovers. We are mothering our lovers. We are holding ourselves back till the children grow up, till the lovers are doing better. Because we women especially have been trained to be mothers, trained to be nurses, trained to be caregivers. And that's so beautiful. Beautiful. That's the beautiful part of us women. But here's where it gets all messed up. In the caretaking, in the giving and the loving and the nurturing that we're so amazing at, we literally give ourselves away. We literally don't hold on to anything. We're like, here, take me. Anything. So we become invisible to ourselves. And when we're invisible to ourselves, there are no boundaries. Because there's no boundaries, we're invisible. There's no structure. And then the other person is like a kid in the candy store. Okay, I'll keep taking. So they keep taking from you. And then you're left empty. Now you're resentful. Now you're overeating. Now you're angry with the children. Now you're dissatisfied. And you're like, okay, I'm such a loving person. I'm so caring. What is going on? And what's going on for women and men, but more for women, is that we are looking for that lost sense of worth from bloody childhood. Okay? It was lost 50 years ago. We're still looking. And we don't realize we're doing this. So my radical awakening occurred in my 40s. I'm still in my 40s, but it occurred in the early part of my 40s when my daughter began growing up. You know, it typically happens when your children start growing up, when you realize, if you have children, that, oh, my children didn't do anything for my identity. They didn't give me any worth, and I'm still stuck in the sense of who am I? So when my daughter was in her teens, I realized, okay, I've been on this journey. Mind you, I had been on this journey since my early 20s. You would think I had arrived, but no, I was just beginning in my 40s. I didn't even know it. And I realized that, okay, my kid is not going to give me a sense of worth. I tried that. I tried a PhD, tried writing books, went on Oprah, and I still don't have a sense of worth. You know why? Because at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the barrel was still this gnawing, pervasive sense of unworthiness. I was still giving my power away in my relationships. It didn't matter what success I had on the outside. In my intimate relationships, I was giving my power away. And that's what happens to us women. We realize in our 40s, maybe, like, oops, I've been giving my power away all my life. But now it's too late, we think. We think the time is running out. We think we can't make a change. We think it's too late. We think that the children will suffer. We think that we'll hurt our parents. We think we'll hurt culture. So again, we put ourselves in the background. Hi, Missy Boo. So we put ourselves in the background again and again and again. And before we know it, now we're 65, right? So we women have been indoctrinated to put others before us. And that's a lovely quality. I love it. It's a beautiful part of me. I don't want to give it up. But I realized that I was giving all of me up. All of it. because I was looking for worth. So Sophia asked, how do you know when you have found your true worth? You know how you know? Now, there's no sense of perfection here, okay? You go up and then you go down. But for the most part, you've cut the tethers to the external world, where the external world doesn't define you every single day of your life, where you have separated from the matrix. So that sounds really scary to people. They're like, oh, but I like my children, or I like my lover, or I like my parents. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about not being in like. We're talking about having your true power. Having your true power means no longer being dependent on the other for your daily dose of worth, validation, approval, permission, or sense of self. So check in with yourself right now. How many of you feel that you are your own provider of your worth? How many of you feel that you are your own provider of your worth? And if the answer is, I am my own provider of my worth, then you are on your way. So for those of you signing in right now, we're talking about my book, A Radical Awakening. I'm doing perhaps my only course for 2021 on the book. It's a 10-day deep dive. Go to aradicalawakening.com, buy the book or buy the course. If you get the course, you get 3 books included in the course. Aradicalawakening.com. The book comes out next month, and I'm going to be talking about all the themes in this book. So when we women especially wake up to the ways culture has taught us to give up our power, then we begin to change the pattern. Now, the pattern is a daily pattern, and it's a daily beast, because we've learned from childhood to have these patterns. So Sophie says, I base all my worth on my kids and if they're okay, and my husband. I need to change this. Yes, you do. Because we cannot give the responsibility to the others to define who it is we are. So this is what I cover in my course, my 10-day deep dive course on A Radical Awakening. Go to aradicalawakening.com, or the course link is posted here. Join us for the movement. We're going to talk about how to rise into your greatest power. So in this book, A Radical Awakening, I talk about my own journey and how I too suffered from the disease to please and the disease to have other people define me, and how I was defined by my role as a mother, how I was defined as a wife, as a daughter. And I realized that these roles, these labels, were having a grip on me. They were the reason for my existence. I was no longer the reason for my existence. My role was the reason for my existence. Does my partner love me? Does my child feel validated by me? Does my child want me? Does my child need me? Am I a good daughter? Do my parents approve of me? And when I began to listen to myself, I began to realize that all my actions, most of them, were because I needed this love, this approval. So yes, somebody wrote, let's all join the course. The course link is up there. You get 3 books sent to you. It's a 10-day deep dive. Let's all join the movement to radically awaken. So when I began to realize, I felt the first thing everyone feels. Okay, now what? Now what? I realized that I've been living like a puppet to everybody else, wanting everyone else's love and craving other people to give me the label of the good one, the perfect one, the achieving one. So now what? Now I realize that yes, I'm a sucker. I'm a slave. I've totally given up my power. So now what do? You know, the first thing that the ego says, the fear says, is don't change, right? It's too late. Don't rock the boat. Don't mess up your life. So then the instinct is to put your head down back in the sand, to go back inward, to go and bury yourself and pretend like nothing's happened, right? Because the price to change your life is huge, right? Who wants to change your life? Everybody gets messed up. Everybody's upset. Everybody has an opinion. Now you upset your parents, then you upset your partner, then you upset your children. That's why women don't change. Women don't change because we don't want to rock the boat. The boat is too precious to us. We've been told that we are in charge of this boat. We are in charge of the entire ship, the rocket ship, the earth, the universe. We women have been trained to take care of everybody around us, at least for the image of taking care of everyone, right? We need to feel as if we are selfless. So just an interruption. Sophia asks, when doing the online course, do you have to be on at a specific time? So the course is at 1 o'clock in the afternoons and at 9 at night to allow for all different time zones. Everything is recorded. So you don't have to be there live, and you get the course for your life and 3 books. So go to aradicalawakening.com/10-day deep dive. The link is all over here. And join the movement. Let's do this together. Let's radically awaken. I'm going to give you my all in this course. It's a 15 to 20 hour course. So join in, 3 books, and we will all radically awaken together. So we women have been taught that we are the mothership, right? And part of it is because we are so loving. It's our biology, it's our chemistry, it's our hormonal balance to be in giving of others. But giving, we have to then take ownership. This is where the radical awakening comes, where we have to take ownership of how we have given it all away. And we're not giving it all away just because we are loving. Part of it is because we're loving. Part of it is we love being loved. We love the adulation. We love the label of the good one. We are suckers for the label of the good one. We want to be known as the good one. So for women, to disrupt the boat, to rock the boat, is blasphemy, right? It is sacrilegious because we can't be the pattern disruptors. We are the peacemakers. So for women to shift into their own power and to become comfortable with breaking patterns is the radical awakening. And it's time for us women to radically awaken. But that means for you in your own life, right? Bianca asks, what if we have lost ourselves and don't know who we are because in giving and people pleasing, we go on a journey. This book, I'm not lying to you, is the journey. Is the journey. I take you step by step, and it's a heavy book. It's 380 pages, I think. And it's going to take you to your true self. This book is about my own journey from my inauthentic self to my authentic power. And I help you as a woman to woman, to step into your power. It's the book you need if you've broken up. It's the book you need if you want to wake up. It's the book you need if you're scared. It's the book you need if you're scared and don't know how to leave the cage. I was in a cage myself. Cage that I designed by my own fears. And I needed to step out. The book is called A Radical Awakening. Go to aradicalawakening.com. I'm doing a 10-day deep dive into the themes of the book. So, finding your true power, finding your radical awakened self, that's what this book is about. And it's a journey. And I take you from your psychological to your sexuality, to your body, to the institutions of what does it mean to be in love? What does it mean to be married? Why are we so afraid of divorce? What can we do about being nice? How can we negotiate new rules for our beauty and our aging? So step by step, I take you on this path to radical awakening. Estee says at 23, yes, 23, you'd be way ahead of the curve, but it's never too early and it's never too late. So yes, the book is available as an audiobook. You can pre-order it. But if you join my course, a 10-day deep dive, the link is up here. You can get 3 books sent to you as part of the course. So I will be here doing daily lives And once a week, we're going to do a town hall on a radical awakening. I have to decide the date. And we're going to talk to women and help women radically awaken. So let's join in the movement to help each other awaken. That's what this book is about. Go to aradicalawakening.com, join the course, join the movement. You get 3 books for free. So just remember that all of us are living with the same fears. You want my approval, I want your approval. When you get that everyone in your life is seeking the same things you're seeking, you stop relinquishing your power to them and you take your power back. And you decide that you want to awaken. No one is going to want you to awaken because it's uncomfortable for them. When you change, they become uncomfortable because they like you the same way, because then they can stay the same. So don't have the idea or the fantasy that people are going to give you permission to change. You have to change yourself. That's what my 10-day deep dive course is about. It's a process to help you awaken, to discover who you truly are. And we talk a lot about the men. I talk about men a lot in this book. Some of the things you're not going to like, women and men. You know, somebody in my publishing team today told me to expect negative reviews. And I was like, of course, I'm going to expect negative reviews. My books, The Conscious Parent, The Awakened Family, all of those got negative reviews. People would walk out of rooms. People were having arguments in my interviews. And this book, 100% I'm going to get negative reviews. 100%. I already know it. I'm ready for it. Why? Because I challenge women. I challenge the status quo. I challenge the institutions of beauty and marriage and love and authenticity and niceness. I challenge all of it. And it's a paradigm wrecker. It's not just a paradigm shifter. It's a paradigm wrecker. So I am here for the big game. I'm not here for the small game of getting popular and having you like me. I'm here for the big game. This book is about the big game. And the big game is about disrupting cultural paradigms and finding your authentic power. I don't care about you being nice. I don't care about if you are liked. I don't care if your family adores you or not. That's not the point of this book. This book is about, are you living your awakened life? Are you living your authentic life? Are you truly living real, raw, honest, as transparent as possible? And when you're not transparent, are you at least aware that you're not transparent? So I'm not here for winning any popularity contest or even getting great reviews. I am ready for crappy reviews. People getting angry with me and turning the book down. No worries, because this book is here to make people uncomfortable. Just like my other work, like The Conscious Parent, where I lambasted parents. I told parents that, hey, you need to raise yourself. No parent wants to hear that. In the same way, many women are not going to like what I talk about because I hold women accountable and I hold men accountable. And it's not an angry book against men. It is a book for women to rise up. And for women to rise up, we need to end our bullshit. We have a lot of bullshit that we do ourselves that keeps the patriarchy going, that then we get upset that the patriarchy is going. But we're the ones who do it to ourselves. No one wants to hear that, right? So women are not going to be happy, but that's okay. I don't want you to be happy. I want you to be authentic. I want you to be real. I don't care about your happiness. Happiness comes and goes. I care about your power. I care about your true liberation. So this book is not to make you happy, but it is to make you free. So you have to decide if you want to be happy or you want to be free. If you want to be happy, don't read this book. But if you want to be free, now this is the book for you. It's a step-by-step guide on how I became free. And I do think I'm more free today than I ever was. But when I decided to radically awaken, I had to give up a lot of stuff. I had to give up a lot of the small games I was playing, where I was bargaining for love and for worth. I was eating crumbs for, do you like me? Am I lovable? I was willing to eat crumbs. And when I radically awakened, I stopped willing to eat crumbs. I was no longer willing to eat crumbs. I went for the big game. I was ready to let go of people for freedom. And that's the radical awakening. When you're ready to give up some big relationships to get the biggest relationship of all. What's the biggest relationship of all? Your authentic self. When you are ready to meet your authentic self, this is the book for you. This is the course for you. So go to aradicalawakening.com, register for my 10-day course, and you and I together will go for the big prize of meeting your authentic self. So I hope you join me. Aradicalawakening.com. Let's do this. I'll be here every day, other day at least, talking about how you can radically awaken. Thank you for joining me, guys. Go to my course, buy the course. 3 books will be sent to you for free, included. Bye, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this.